Predator Dark Ages. So this is actually a fan film, in case you thought you've missed the latest Predator movie. So just in case you don't know, a fan film essentially is a independently produced movie that has no official ties to an existing franchise and is really just made by fans because they love the franchise of the movie that it's kind of incorporating just so much. With that in mind, you can't actually expect normally a particularly high level of production because there's no profit involved and they're not selling this movie to make money. It's just done for the love of the property. So you have to factor that in when you're kind of having a look at a fan film, because obviously they simply aren't going to have the budget to do, the most things that a regular film will do. With that in mind, let's talk about Predator Dark Ages. Now, this isn't actually the first time that we've seen a Predator in a fan film. Most notably, probably Batman Dead End, where we had a Predator face off against Batman and an alien. But in this one, it really is kind of a retelling of the original Predator movie that starred Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, instead here, you've basically got a group of Knights Templar, I guess in England, although it doesn't actually say, but they are sent to investigate the reports of this kind of demon that's been killing kind of locals, and it's apparently has supernatural powers. And of course, we all know what it's going to turn out to be. And we have this kind of ragtag group of knights go into the forest and face down with the Predator in a battle of wits and kind of brawn. So that's the basic premise. So it kind of is a similar kind of story to the original movie, but it's kind of obviously shortened down. This runs for about half an hour, including the credits. So that's all I'll kind of go into in regards to plot. So let's talk about the positives and negatives. And then, like I said, I will say this, you can't be as hard on this as you would do a regular film. But I have to say, this is actually a really well-made fan film, to be honest with you. It has a definite professional look to it. All the kind of shots, the lighting, everything on a technical side. To be honest with you, I didn't really have any issues with it. It looks to a professional standard. I will say, the acting, if you were to watch this and it was a kind of a straight to DVD movie that you've kind of seen churned out by kind of various kind of straight to video on demand things, you probably wouldn't blink at the acting here. But if you compare it to a kind of cinema acting, it's a little bit kind of off, just slightly. For example, we have an old priest at the beginning he's really struggling not to look at the camera, for example. The other kind of, I guess, minor sort of thing I would say, but again, these criticisms I'm not really holding against there, but I do have one legitimate one. The other one I would say, sometimes when the action is shot, they kind of pause just a little bit too long on certain scenes. For example, where the Predator's kind of standing behind someone, or you have that kind of slow sort of turnaround as they find out the Predator's behind them, stuff like that. It just gets into just a tad too long. It just kind of makes it a little bit too sort of overemphasised and for effect, if that makes sense. But my main criticism with this is it really decides to have this diverse cast, and we are talking about the Dark Ages here. But it just goes, okay, let's have this diverse cast. We'll have a female warrior here. We'll have a Saracen from an ethnic background, basically, just to kind of have this kind of diverse cast for having a diverse cast's sake. And it's kind of pandering. So I don't like the choice to do that, to be honest with you. And obviously, this is not a historical accurate film, but it just smacks of just trying to have a diverse cast for having a diverse cast's sake, whilst in the Dark Ages you wouldn't really have that sort of situation. And even within the kind of the regular knights, you've got there's the kind of the old one, you've got the kind of fat one, you've got the kind of the muscular leader, stuff like that. So it kind of really just is, let's try and cover all the bases in regards to the cast. And that, to be honest with you, is my only really legitimate criticism here, because the other things really were just budgetary factors. And because this film isn't made to have a profit, I can't really criticise it. So that really is my only thing. I just wanted to kind of mention the other things. But on the plus side of this film, it's an extremely well done film. The effects, to be honest with you, I can't fault the effects. I think it looks probably as good as, or maybe just slightly off the kind of the original Predator movie. The Predator looks great. I think some people may be a bit undecided in regard to the ending. It's more of a plot point. I won't spoil it for you. I thought it was fine, but I can see maybe some people having a little issue with it, but that's going to be down to personal preference, I think. But like I said, for a fan film, this really is top notch. This is a professionally looking made film. and it's thoroughly enjoyable. If you're a Predator fan, you think you're going to like it. If you like kind of medieval action, you're going to like it. I quite like the kind of the main guy. He made quite a good kind of lead character to me. I thought he was, a likeable guy. Just some of the other actors were just slightly off in my opinion. But like I said, minor quibbles aside, and that one sort of issue that I had with it, I actually really liked it, and I definitely recommend it. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave a comment, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.